Fuck, hold on 1 second. All right, so if I connect the phone to the camera, I'm thinking, because I gotta transmit. I want to transmit live on YouTube a moonshot, and that way it can go through the show. So in order for me to present the screen, I gotta be streaming. So somebody click on my channel and click on the live stream, and that way you get a shot of the moon live from the P900. Huh. Let me see if I can make that happen.
Yeah, you can do that with your phone. I didn't know that. I thought that so you can stream your P900 through your phone.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I got to check into that. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. There's an app. It's called. It is called
Oh,
WM.
it's an app.
It's an app. I mean, I do it for my phone. Everything I do from my phone. It's a Nikon app. You put Nikon Connect, Nikon Connect camera or something. I can take a snapshot, a picture of the app, how it looks, and look it up. See if it works for you.
Huh.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm trying to get back to my camera right now. I went to my daughter's soccer game and I didn't bring my camera because it's been so cloudy, but it's a clear blue sky. Nothing in the sky right now but the moon and the sun.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna eat something.
Hey, what's up, Chocolate?
What's up, guys?
Hey, chocolate.
Morning, guys. Going on.
How's everybody?
Good, good.
Cool, cool. Good morning out here in Georgia.
Am I in?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Hey, what up?
What's up, Choco, man?
Chilling, man. How you doing?
Tired, hungry. Just got off work like 20 minutes ago. Starving.
Oh, you do an overnight shift?
Yeah.
So when you get on the show, you're coming from the night of work?
Yes, sir. I know. That's why I'm gonna get a dose of Flatter debate before going to sleep.
I hear that, man.
Many days I have nightmares. Rumpus yelling, "Let me get 5 more seconds."
I'm almost finished. I'm almost
I don't
finished.
know. I don't know what's worse, going to sleep to that or waking up to that.
Yeah, right. I had both.
Sometimes I wake up and you know,
Let me
maybe I
finish
will
my point.
wake
Let
up.
me finish my point. Let me finish my point. Let me
Oh
finish
my
my
God.
point. Let me finish my
Oh,
point. Let me finish my point.
just like that. It's ridiculous.
Thank you, Arwin.
Just like that. Like, who the hell
You keep
talks like
interrupting
that?
me. You keep interrupting me.
Oh my God, he's such a clown, that guy.
That would be an alarm clock, sound to wake
Oh
up
my
to.
God. Yes. Somebody needs to develop a Rumpus alarm clock. Uh, Give me 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes.
Who's gonna do the soundboard? Who's good at making little soundboard apps?
Somebody did one already with Rumpus.
I haven't seen one of him. I seen
You know,
Red and I
it
seen
would
a few
not
people.
it would not be difficult at all. I mean, you just have to download the you have to convert
The show.
the show. I mean, I could do it. I could do it.
Somebody did that already. Somebody has a Rumpus soundboard. I can't remember who, but somebody did it. Fuck.
The only
I
problem
don't.
is I'd hate to go back and try to listen through stuff and try to find it again. I'd have to know
Nah,
Yeah.
exactly what the timestamp was.
I gotta find it because somebody's done it already. I think it was like a few months already. Somebody did a whole Rumpus soundboard. It was hilarious. Fuck. When I find it, I'll let you guys know. I don't.
You don't
It was
understand science, Nathan. You don't understand science, Nathan.
You sound like him too.
So is anybody? Let's say Arwin, are you willing to present my a video of my channel a little later during the show?
Sure.
Yeah, because I'm gonna try to live stream the moon with the P900.
Oh.
That way, I mean, the only way you just gotta go to my channel and click on the live
Right.
event. Whatever is
Alright.
live, then it'll be going.
Cool.
Yeah.
You got a link?
No. I'm just gonna set up live with no, whenever I'm ready, I'm gonna set up the camera. I'm gonna set up everything, and then I click live without scheduled time, just live, and I'll let you know, like, hey, I'm live right now. If you want to jump.
I don't think I'm subscribed to your channel. So I mean to
Oh,
your
shame
channel.
on you.
Come
Yeah.
on, Arwin.
Shame on you. Yeah,
Sorry.
Jose JG Gonzalez. Yeah, if I can pull that off, that's cool. A cool idea. Stream live from a P900. But the thing is, if I had a computer, I would be able to present it myself. That's the part I cannot present to myself.
Okay, subscribe.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
Tell me that
I'm
the
really
name of that
lazy when it
app
comes to
again,
subscribing,
Jose.
so.
What's the name of that app again?
Hold on, it's in my other phone.
Hey guys, real quick, I just want to ask a question, right?
Right.
After the hangout yesterday, right after
2 minutes.
after hangout,
10.
all right. So real,
2
so
minutes,
real,
right? Oh. Drop. Phone drop. It's
Wow,
one of those
both of them.
days.
Jose and Chocolate.
Yeah, that's
Hello.
phone drops. Usually
But yeah,
happens to
but,
everyone.
but both of them at the same time.
Yeah, it always happens to all the phones at the same time.
Well, I'm
Hello.
on my phone right now.
Well, then you're an
Good
exception
fun.
for some reason.
we're gonna start with
I
this
loved it.
nonsense already.
I know, right? What was your question, Chocolate?
No, so I was gonna say real quick that yesterday after the
Uh-oh,
hangout,
it's
right? Riley was still on, and we were having this whole big
Right, can you go with
discussion
Mummy?
between what is considered natural and what is considered man-made,
check.
and is there a difference?
Nah.
So at one point I said, all right, so do you guys consider something like an iPhone to be something natural? And I think it was Nummy and Eric who were like, yes, because it was made by man, and man is they can.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Chocolate Saying, Jose, The Plain Truth, and Arwin. Good to have you all.
Hello, hello, hello. What?
Yo,
Good afternoon.
Morning.
Boom.
Good afternoon, good morning, and hello to everybody. Any signs of curvature?
Oh,
Only on the curve that I'm taking right now.
No,
Is that
sir.
so? Anybody? Anybody at all?
nah. That's not happening.
Any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
No.
Nope.
No.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Nope.
Nope.
No?
Gravity, no.
Nope.
Any evidence
it's
of the
not
distance to the sun?
There is none. There's none of that. We'll have none of that.
We'll have none of that.
Chocolate, you got
We'll
that,
have
Chocolate?
none of your balls of fire over here.
Goodness gracious. Any evidence that you can have a gas pressure without a container?
No,
Nah,
definitely not. Not in theory, not in the physical world.
that's just a fairy tale.
That's the one they
You
keep
can
hitting and
imagine it,
hitting.
you can
Let's say
paint
yes.
it. You can imagine
Say
it,
again?
you can paint it,
Say again, Jose.
CGI it, but it can't, in theory, happen, and it can't in real world events.
No? That it?
Yeah. The bowlers insist that gas pressure gradient they insist nailing and nailing. They say then you have to deny that there's a pressure gradient difference, and you have to deny gravity. So they throw those two in your face and rub it around you, you know, all over the place.
No worries. Well, the scientific evidence of gravity is non-existent, so we don't take fairy tales as proof of something. That's the first thing. Second thing is, in order to have a gas pressure gradient, you would also require a container. So first we must establish where we get the container in order to have a gas pressure gradient. But we won't worry about the gradient, because that doesn't address the question, how do we have gas pressure without a container? There's a lot of space fantasists that don't realise that you can't have gas pressure next to a vacuum. That doesn't work. They all think we live in a barrierless system, travelling out to the moon and Mars, sending probes out through the barrierless system from the gas pressure we all know and love into space. It's amazing the nonsense people will believe. Space being a vacuum, we wouldn't have any gas pressure. It would all get sucked out into space. Anyway, any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Nope. No layer, no core. There is lava, maybe huge chunks of it, but we don't know what their nature is. If they're just sitting there, if they're like tubes down, or however that works. But very little points to there being some kind of layer. So,
anybody else?
Nope.
Anybody?
No, sir.
No molten iron cores? Really? I'm amazed. What about the R value? Any evidence of Earth radius?
No, we need a sphere for that.
Yeah,
You need to
no,
beg
no
the question.
R.
Since we don't have a sphere, we don't have a radius.
if only you guys would just presuppose it. Go on.
If only. Just imagine, like everyone tells us to do.
Excellent. Well, that pretty much concludes the housekeeping. Do some shout-outs to the chat.
Peachy believes that the sun is a physical object. Blah blah. Reflection.
Pete Shea thinks the sun is a physical object. And some reflections probably labelled.
Is that according to Aristarchus?
The sun is a reflection of Polaris and Polaris Aristarchus, says Pete Shea. Righto. If you say so.
Yep.
Any actual evidence of that?
So
Pete Shea?
it's all a hall of mirrors, apparently.
Not a physical object, knob, he says. Okay, my bad, Pete. So it's the last day of the Globe Tour today. John Smith Globe Lie down in London. I was supposed to go, but I'm too sick. So my
Pete
apologies
Shea
to Ranty
says
and
he has
Anthony.
evidence.
Say again, Arwin?
Pete Shea says he has evidence.
Really? That it's a reflection of Aristarchus? Oh, jump on, Pete. Links in the info box as always. Just tell us all about it. Have I just opened ourselves up to something that we really didn't want to do?
Well, you can really hold him to the scientific method
AP,
if you want.
Ball sphere.
The Earth's a ball.
you got any new gags?
Sure.
This one's getting a bit old.
is.
It's the ball. Pete,
I reckon it's a ball.
Reckon.
are you sure?
It's very, very convincing. Your reckoning.
Well, we're wrecking the ball, so
Why do you believe in the ball, P?
There's no. I haven't really found a reason not to believe in it.
So, when we point out that the way they're proving the ball is by assuming it's a ball to begin with, you don't see that as slightly concerning. Hey, vegan guy.
Hi, y'all.
I don't think that's true. I think you are either lying or you're just wrong.
But literally a few Google searches will prove that I'm correct. They looked up at a light in the sky, saw a shadow on it, and then from there decided that that meant that Earth was causing the shadow, therefore Earth was a sphere. thus giving them the presupposition. Then when they start making their measurement, every measurement is made with the presupposition they're on a sphere based on that shadow on a light in the sky. That's where they've come to the conclusion that we're on a sphere, P. I mean, you can do some very, very cursory searches to find out that I'm absolutely correct about that.
Well, what you're describing sounds like it's based on an observation, not a presupposition.
Yeah, an observation of a light in the sky with a shadow on it, that's correct, P. And then they presuppose the Earth is a ball, based on that observation of a shadow on a light in the sky.
Well, it wouldn't be presupposing if it's based on an observation.
Oh, really? So they're not presupposing that it is Earth as a ball causing that shadow. They know that to be true, do they, P?
I believe so.
Sorry, take your time. So they know that's true. They didn't look up a light in the sky and just guess that it was Earth causing it because Earth is a ball. They knew that when they just guessed that, did they, P?
Yes, sir.
Okie dokie. You keep telling yourself that, P. You're wrong. We've got Richard Heen just joined us, Arwin. Did you see?
What? Where?
Joined and dropped.
Okay. Oh, that. Oh. Yep.
Goodbye, probable sniper.
Yeah.
Probable sniper, yeah. Too late in the day to catch us
Try to
out.
sneak in.
As they all drop. So, yeah, Pete, the story is just the story. So, hey, Warren.
Billy Wazza.
Pete's gone very quiet at this point. Fair enough.
Well, at least he's giving up his southern accent because it's not a very good southern accent anyway. It sounds like some northerner pretending he's a southerner. It's just ridiculous to hear that kind of nonsense from a boy like that.
I do declare.
Now, he's just one that lives near a swamp.
Sorry, have you had a stroke, Arwin?
Well, you try living in a swamp. All right?
That's a bit more like it. That wasn't bad. You going to talk about New Orleans? Talk about Pontchartrain? Oh, another Plain Truth just joined. It's going to be a snipey day. I could tell by the number of thumbs down before the show even went live. Going to get troll invested.
I'm going to kick them. Sorry.
You get a couple of normal people join the panel, and we can then forego the dealing with the trolls. If we can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a couple more people.
We'll see in a few seconds if I got the right one.
Still there, Travis? No,
Oh, shit. I got
the wrong one. That means we might lose the whole panel. We shall see. It's going to be an eventful show.
Too.
There's a little app that you can get
Travis.
that will mute people when they first come in if there's more than 3 people in the chat. I put it on. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, there are some useful features to stop them from just joining and playing sound immediately.
Oh,
hello,
Revelations.
Rawlinson, how you doing?
I was
Revelation, rather.
I was.
Hey, Eric. Hey, I think we've got a full panel now.
So that you would kick the other guy, not me.
Oh, is that you, Travis? Hey, sorry.
What? Ah.
Hi, guys. Yeah. On and the other Plain Truth are talking. That way you can see who I am. That you won't have to kick me too.
Hold on, Travis. I need to turn you back up again.
You got a mirrored R icon.
Can you repeat what you said, Travis? I just didn't hear you. I hadn't got you turned up quick enough.
Oh, that's okay. I was just saying I was.
Sound. Well worth the wait.
Talking until which Plain Truth was. Did you not hear me?
You're breaking up.
This time you were breaking up, but I got the gist.
Pete, come on. Please. You're muted.
Slick show. Slick. Very professional today.
He's mocking us.
Who's mocking you?
Look who's talking.
Travis, he's got that R avatar.
Yeah, mirrored R.
What's wrong with that?
It's presupposed.
Well, at least you can admit it.
He's right about that.
I love how P knows that it's a presupposition deep down inside, but still fights for the ball. Amazing, really.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's anything wrong with having presuppositions. You have to have presuppositions to have a conversation.
Says who? Says who?
Especially if you're paid or blackmailed by your lodge to be here every day.
No, come on. It's not really like that. It's more like he's being held hostage. This is his duty, and
We got those photos. We got those photos of him. That's why.
I just want to address that. Pete gets called a shill a lot. I've known Pete for a fairly long time. Wouldn't you agree, Pete? We've spoken on and off personally. Yeah. I don't consider Pete to be in any way a shill. He just wants to participate. He's a dick, but not a shill.
Yep. He's actually gotten a lot better. He used to be
shills.
You used to be
shills
very nasty.
I don't
Shills
sell.
are very. I don't think so. There's definitely J-Tricks out there.
I'm doing this for free.
Didn't you cover J-Tricks, P? I thought it was. I could have swore you.
Yeah, shill. There's a difference between like J-Trig and a shill, though. A shill is more about selling products, and J-Trig's more about, I don't know, controlling the narrative, I guess, of the alternative movement through fake leaders and fake audience members.
Yeah, I mean, when people in this community say shill, they basically mean J-Trig. They mean somebody who's controlling the narrative through the comments or pushing a certain line in the face of all other rebuttals, things like that.
Gatekeeper.
They seem to have
aren't you being paid or something?
Say again, Eric?
If you're a quote-unquote shill, doesn't that imply that you're being paid, that you're some sort of monetary gain or whatnot?
Indeed, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, just double checking, language changes.
Like, I'm kind of a little bit of a voluntary shill for Alex Jones' product.
Traditionally, a shill is someone in the audience. Like if you have a con man or a snake oil salesman selling something, the shill will be someone in the audience that he'll pick for a demonstration. But like he's in on that, right? So
what's that you say? Snake oil? Snake oil cured my skin cancer.
The funny thing is that snake oil actually has medical properties.
Oh, here we go.
No, that's true, but it's... Yeah.
So does bone broth.
What?
I said, so does bone broth, right? I'm just messing with you.
Well, that stuff really, really works. It's weird. But yeah.
Sure, it's just not a placebo effect.
No, pretty sure it's not.
But I do want to know, Pete, what is it that's keeping your fingernails hanging onto that cliff of globe belief? Why?
I observe the sphere Earth. I look and can see it's a sphere.
Yeah, but you don't. That's like day one, 5 years ago in Flat Earth, Math Powerland. Nobody sees the sphere Earth. Nobody.
You observe a sphere, Pete?
You observe a picture.
Yeah.
When did you observe the sphere?
And you imagine that must be the truth, and that was a mass phone drop.
I think we've had a phone drop. Lost half the panel.
Except Travis.
Well, there's one good picture where the guy took a picture of the sun putting a mountain shadow underneath a cloud. That's...
Oh,
hey, Orthodox.
Very cool.
Oh boy.
How you doing?
I think we got ourselves a genuine hillbilly.
Oh, hey,
I don't
Music
think
as well.
he really believes. I don't think he's really a baller. I don't know why. I just get a feeling Pete's not really a baller.
No,
I'm not.
Pete's not
I
anything.
don't think
He's
he
just
is either.
playing around.
I'm an individual. I don't join groups. I think you get used. Join a group.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Very wholeheartedly.
Hold on. So you don't think the Ball Earth believers are a group then?
That's why you're.
The community. There's a Ball Earth community that's surrounded the Flat Earth community. That's mainly just to hate Flat Earthers.
I mean, I'm not talking about them. I'd call those anti-flat earthers. I'm just talking about people who... There's like a category of people that don't know about this argument, but just naturally and instinctively know, because they've been told, that they live on a ball. Now, you're more like them because you're not like the flat earth haters than we are like flat earthers, if you know what I mean. In other words, you just accept it, right, P?
I guess so, yeah.
But then you're in the biggest group of all.
Yeah, pretty much.
And group, you don't even have to join that group. You're born into it.
Right. You don't even know you're part of it by the sounds of things.
Yeah.
Well, you get your diploma, so that helps.
You're born, your parents tell you live on a ball, then you...
Avengers will
get a little promotion because you believe in the ball.
You put a big square hat on your head with a tassel on the side, and you're a baller.
I'm pretty convinced that people that are really into these Comic-Con and these Avengers movies, and they seem like the most triggered about flat Earth because...
Hey.
Well, hey.
Right now.
Yeah, but that's because we undermine their fantasy territory.
Yeah.
It's their dream.
Not
That's
really.
what they're living.
No, not all of them. Because I'm a big fan of Avengers, comic books, and all of that. And I can distinguish between the two.
Right.
Yeah, but I think some
that's
people...
because you went the other way,
Owen.
and it's a long journey.
Hold on, Owen. Can you expand on that a bit, Eric? What do you mean? This is new one to me. I didn't know that your Comic-Con fan was an anti-flat earther.
Yeah. Well, I know them.
Hold on. It was Eric's point, Arwin.
You know, D&D.
It was Eric's point.
Well, remember, it goes under the genre of science fiction. You know, like that tells people that, yeah, it's fiction, but it's based on science, man. A lot of stuff's going to happen in the future. We're going to get that shit. We're going to get it. Yep, we're getting it.
They're right in most instances. The Trekkies got their walkie-talkie things. We're all carrying around iPhones, right?
Yep.
Well, how could you have Superman if you had a ball Earth? I mean, if you had a flat Earth, you know, it'd be impossible. So they gotta keep the ball Earth for Superman.
Don't let them not hold out hope for Superman, because if they're ever going to vary Earth turn, they're going to need Superman to do that. You know, they could almost make it scientific with Superman on their side.
He could come from another dimension.
Would you guys agree that Superman's powers are actually electrostatic?
No, they're Krypton based, you idiot.
Yeah, but that's like
actually,
the explanation for that different sunlight, different frequency.
They're based on the sun.
So
I love it.
There's an electrostatic
the thing that's caused the
difference.
most argument is where Superman gets his powers. This is unreal.
The sun, Earth's sun.
Don't mess with my fantasy, man.
Well, kryptonite actually hurts Superman, so.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait, you guys got to get this right, guys. Superman gets his powers from Earth's yellow sun.
Yes.
That's where Superman gets his
from
powers.
radiation,
On
basically.
Krypton, he has no powers. He's just a guy.
But
Because they have a red sun.
but isn't sunlight also involved in static electricity?
I don't know.
Getting backed by the chat. Is it Sash196? Superman is basically a solar panel.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I've never heard it put that way, but yeah. He's a giant, big solar panel.
He is mega vegetable.
So, are we saying that Superman wouldn't work on a flat Earth? Because I'd class that as flat Earth proof right there.
Superman wouldn't work on a flat Earth. Well,
sounds like a good flat Earth argument to me.
Well, he would run into problems if there was a dome, but if it's looping, then there would be no problem. Just a limited territory. And a big problem as to where he actually came from must be from another dimension.
Yeah.
I mean, Superman, like
That
any
would
sci-fi,
turn him
is wrapped
into a
up in
fallen
globe
one
programming,
for
though, isn't
the
it? I mean,
Christians, and there you go.
he's definitely part of the problem. He's from another planet. You know, there's loads of globe programming in Superman.
Of course.
Yep. And I think that they're trying to go with some kind of reptilian background thingy also. In general, they're trying to maneuver that into this new mainstream alternative way of thinking, like a continuation of the X-Files generation, basically, which was also a construction to precede the way of thinking of the entire heliocentric folklore, as it were. And they continue preceding this. So,
hey, if you guys want to have a laugh, go watch some of these Comic-Con kind of YouTube channels that are dedicated to predicting what's going to happen in Avengers 4. And they literally use science to explain like how it can. I mean,
yeah, that was very blatant.
And these channels are super monetized, and I mean, they're just pretty much on par with the makeup channels. Really, I mean, these guys actually try to make predicts and explain how it could be true that Thanos could do this because, well, they have science behind them. I mean, it's.
I do really like the video channels that theorize a lot about Star Wars and everything. I do tend to find
Well,
them.
Star Wars is a different level from say Avengers and Star Trek, because Star Wars kind of is more it's more old stories, you know. It's all samurai based and wizards and all that. Whereas, man, Avengers, people think that stuff's real and that we're going to have all that crap soon. They do.
Well,
with them appeal and Mr. Steed?
To some degree, they might, but there's going to be consequences.
What, aside from the flip phone?
If you're going to have this kind of superpower and electricity and shit and heavy fields, your body's going to suffer. Like, they just overlook this in their theorizing about the mutants and everything. Like, oh yeah, they have this power and they're just, yeah, they can handle it. But yeah, if you'd be subjected to that level of power or even be the source of it, that kind of thing, you know, your body's going to be like being exposed to radiation. So your body's going to just suffer.
Did you notice the depopulation programming in the Avengers Infinity War movie, Eric?
Well, yeah, that's pretty much what the theme was overall, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was quite frightening. They made you identify with this psychopath that wanted to kill half the people, and they showed basically a firing squad killing people in the background, like some sort of concentration camp. That I think they're trying to program into people that it's okay to kill people, like to save the environment.
Yeah, as long as you have a noble. Yeah, I mean, they painted that Thanos as a bit of a noble character.
Because resources aren't sustainable or some bullshit that they'll make up with their science.
I thought it was philosophically interesting, but
in Thanos' mind, that's what he was doing. That he thought what he was doing was right.
No, but you have to reconcile that he really thinks and acts like a god of like the old times.
Yeah. Nobody knew
that's taken
Thanos
very
was.
serious. So he's like he is kind of literally like above it all, and just his physical appearance kind of gives other suggestions.
That's how
he is just, and that's acted out very well. He's just way out there, too powerful, too brilliant, and just driven by mythical driving forces.
That's why they show him going around and collecting the Infinity Stones, because he wanted to be the most powerful in the universe, so that he could do what he thought he needed to do.
Exactly.
The general public, people had no idea who Thanos was before this movie, and now everyone loves him. And
they're theorizing.
No, he was very popular.
If you read comic books, you know who Thanos was.
They're theorizing.
Yeah, I know.
Wait. If you read comic books, you know who.
But most people don't read comic books. It's like very niche. Like, but a lot of people know comics through these movies. So like, just this one movie, and they made the general public love this character that wants to kill.
Comics are not as niche as they used to be like 10 or 20 years ago.
So you think people love Thanos now?
I totally. People went from not even knowing who the hell Thanos was to now he's my favorite character.
But comic geeks always respected him. So
No, I think the point. Yes, I think the point he's making though is that
talking about the general public.
I didn't know who Thanos was. Now I've seen loads of various different YouTube videos about Thanos' backstory and how he's a troubled soul and actually the good guy.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, in his own mind.
Well, they're theorizing that he's going to join onto the sides of the Avengers to be the new, what is it, Galactus. So he's going to somehow get swayed over, and they're going to find common ground with the Avengers, and then they're going to fight I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's all just heliocentric programming, like we said
They're
at the start. It's all
downgrade him
set in
again.
space. It's all planets and flying out to space. That's what it is. You know, they've got gods in space. So instead of a biblical style god on a cloud, they've got a cartoon blue comic book god on a cloud out in space.
Yep.
Well, I think
It looks
when
beautiful,
Eric brought it up before, he said, you know, he thinks that most comic book, you know, Comic-Con people, comic book fans get triggered by because it's so against what's going on in the comics. And I don't agree with that because I'm a giant comic book fan.
Well, you're an exception to that. I mean, I'm not saying it's generalizing. I mean, am I off in that generalization?
No, but I know what you mean. That there are probably some people that are like, oh my God, that's crazy. Because I can't lie. Now that I'm a flat earther, right, when I'm watching a movie like Avengers or something like that, and they're talking about space and they're in space, and like I have to separate the fantasy fiction of it, my reality. You know, because 5 years ago I was like, wow, you know, maybe that's possible, maybe shit like that's going on, you know. And now I watch it and I'm like, oh, it's a cool story. But it's a cool story. That's it.
No, I mean, it was one of my more recent. I became a quote unquote fan of The Expanse. I mean, that was a really good show, and I struggled to get into it because I'm like, oh, last thing I need is another sci-fi space bullshit. But you know, I put my flat Earth aside, and it's a really good show.
But you know what? Now that I am a flat earther, when I watch these shows, like it gives me a new perspective to look at these things, and a new way to analyze what I'm seeing and what they're telling me. You know.
You know, I just look at those stories now as stories and story creation, and I'm working on that myself for a long time. That's how I approach it, and I just look at it like, is this a good created story, and why does it grip me, and what are the good characters?
Well, I've been a comic book fan since I was a kid. I mean, since I started reading, I was reading comic books because they're, I don't know, to me they're awesome as far as, you know, imagination and things like that. But you know, when you get to a point where you're like, hey, I don't think I live on a ball anymore, these things just become stories now, and it's like, okay.
You don't think, or you don't believe you live on a ball?
No. And you know what? I'm actually
I don't live on a ball.
Okay. No, I mean, I'm always very careful that, you know, when I get on, I just don't believe that I live on a ball. So I don't know what the Earth is, how big it is, what it's, I have no idea. I don't believe I live on a ball.
Are you saying Flat Earth helped you realize Superman wasn't real?
Well, no, it's slightly different. If you're a comic book fan and you're into sci-fi, then it's all based around the current narrative. So, for example, something I can relate to is Red Dwarf, so a space-related sci-fi sitcom, and that's all based on the book A Brief History of Time. So basically, they've taken all of those principles and wrapped them up. Shout out to the Mind of God for the super chat, thank you very much. They've wrapped them up in sci-fi, but they're based on current narrative science, and that's the same for comic books. They'll take a lot of the ideas that are actually from quote-unquote scientists, you know, philosophers basically, and they'll write them into their narratives. So when you have to kiss goodbye to that, which I did very quickly after finding out the Earth was flat, that was a little bit gutting, because a lot of the fantastical nature of the world you think you live in suddenly disappears. It's heartbreaking in some ways.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. That's it. Nathan needs to apologise. Smeghead. That's what they call Red Dwarf fans, Smegheads.
Maybe we can create a new sci-fi genre that explores more the flat Earth. I wonder if that would sell with the public and they'd even recognize it, what it is. Like instead of going out into space, maybe we have these ships, these lasers and whatnot, and we're going to, I don't know, other puddles. I don't know.
You could
I
have
think
a
Batman.
we could have a submarine with a talking dolphin.
If you really want, if you want a funny show, then I know a concept, and that is basically do go out into space, kind of like Red Dwarf, but make the jokes basically surrounding about the impossibility of the circumstances. It could work.
Didn't they do that with
Giant swaths of material to joke about, as we
How
have
about
been
with
doing.
Mystery Science Theater 3000 or whatever, with the monkeys in the audience as they all go into space?
No,
but
there
don't
are-
you get
there
it?
are-
It would be a science fiction parody.
Ah, that's a brilliant
just like-
example.
like a
Vegan
70s
Goy.
sci-fi
Sorry,
show.
Owen, I just want to get this in before I forget. So before the show, we were talking about something similar. So can you just repeat what you just said, Vegan Goy? Because I want it to be clear.
Well, I was talking about the Mystery Science Theater.
You were talking about the capuchin monkeys that went into space, right?
Well, the Mystery Science Theater 3000 was where they played a movie, but in the audience was always a bunch of monkeys, you know, and they'd be joking with each other about what's happening in the movie. So it's pretty funny.
Oh, sorry, I misheard you. My ears are all bunged up. I thought you were talking about something else. Because before the show, Owen and I were talking about maybe the people who are in charge of this nonsense are just, well, this was my opinion, not Arwen's. They're just laughing at us. And I was talking about the example of the Tesla car. Well, back in the 60s and 70s, you could not even the 60s, it would be the 50s rather, you could talk about the monkeys. You know, that's just laughing at you as far as I'm concerned. Same as the Tesla car, they're just laughing at you basically.
Well, I think there's plenty of people out there laughing at us. They're probably underground or wherever they are, but they just think with the Goy are a bunch of crazy people. Very entertaining.
Easily duped.
No, it's
easily
a religious test. That's what it is.
Well, I have to say, if these are these elite and they laugh at the public, I'm kind of with them in that. I mean, sorry, I guess I'm a cruel, cold-hearted bastard, but it is laughable. I'm sorry.
I can actually kind of agree with that. It is laughable that people really still think we live on a magical spinning
It's not
ball.
just that. Just look at this. Look at this midterm election and this left-right paradigm. It's batshit crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean you could just write this, you know, that the Democrats are going to come back in charge, and now the narrative from the owned media is going to be, oh well, now Trump can't have his stuff because the Democrats are in charge, and it's always been like that, back and forth, and then they just laugh and go, look at these people, they think that voting actually does something. What a bunch of morons.
Exactly.
Sorry to interrupt. Is anybody on the panel willing to drop? We've got Plain Sight in the chat that wants to share something about. Oh, there we go. Somebody's already dropped. So there you go, Plain Sight. If you want to join now, you can.
Another Vegan Goy drop.
Unorthodox, what are you doing? Just listening, waiting to pop in, or what?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here wondering if any of you guys have ever talked to your psychiatrist about your flat Earth ideas.
Do you have a psychiatrist?
We have a psychiatrist.
I do have a psychiatrist.
Don't bite. Just an abdominal attack.
I do talk to a lot of people about it.
Wait, I think he's going to pull the take your med. Like, what's next? Take your meds? Like, what are you advocating?
I'm just joking, guys. I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself.
Fair enough.
Come on.
Hey, Plain Sight. Hold on, we've got a new guest. Hold on. Hey, Plain Sight. How you doing? Good to have you.
Hi, I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me. So I'm actually a complete hangout virgin, so it might take me a sec to share my video, but just give me a sec. Okay. So I guess would it probably just be easier if I just put it in the live chat? I'm on a mobile right now.
Yeah, you won't be able to post it in the live chat. Can you get into the back chat from a mobile?
I think I'm on the regular chat. Let me see. Okay, I just sent it, so.
Yeah, it did come up. Great. Yeah, I see it.
Okay, perfect. Awesome.
What is it? Do you want to tell us what it is?
So it's just so the first minute is like a slideshow of some pictures about perspective, and I was talking about perspective and like the viewing angle and how things disappear from the bottom up. And then at the end, there's a video that I made yesterday in a park. My son and I set up a couple items of like different heights. I just wanted to show like the lowest one disappearing.
I'm presenting it.
Okay.
I see Sex in the City on the stream.
Yeah, I've got to sort out a few things before I can get it working. Just bear with me.
I just like to say bravo, a woman. We don't get very many women on here for some reason.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I listen to you guys every day, and I was like, wow, there's really not any women who like to call into this show. And yeah, I didn't know what to make a video about, but then you guys have been talking about the perspective thing, and that's definitely one thing that I understand. And so I was like, okay, well, let's throw a video together. And I already had some troll comments, so I must have done something right.
Where's the video, Arwen?
I've got it up now for the audience. So, have you got it presenting as well, have you, Arwen? That would have been far easier if I'd just done that. Oh well. In fact, I might do that so I can say in the hangout. If you can bring it back to the beginning, Arwen, I'll play your screen. Sorry, it couldn't help. Arwen, if you can just bring it back to the beginning of the video.
Sorry?
Yeah, you can just take it back to the beginning of the video. I've got you presented now.
All right.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. So yeah, at about 1 minute, it'll go to the actual video. These slides, I'm just kind of talking about it a little bit, but yeah, it'll go to the video in a sec.
I love it already.
Thanks.
This is perspective, baby.
I saw that image the other day and I was going to steal it too. The one with the parting.
Yeah. Pinterest has got some pretty awesome pictures, honestly. Okay, now it's going to go to the video. And there is sound on it as well.
You won't be able to play it, Arwen. If you just leave it as is. Or if you can make it full screen, that would be great.
So right there, there's a bottle, a box of tissues, a box of crayons, and a DVD.
Yeah, obviously DVD disappears first.
You can't see the DVD. You can't see the box of crayons.
You're far from the mic. All right, we can't hear what you're saying.
Yeah, the video, this is the first one that I've ever made, so I was still kind of playing around with how loud I needed to be and whatnot.
Wait, so that audio before was coming from the video?
Yeah, I'm trying to do it over my mic.
Cool. Do you mind if I snip out that little bit with the with you raising and lowering? And what I'll do is I'll crop out the center section where the stuff's presumably disappearing from bottom up, because it's presumably done on a phone, like all of them. The whole point is to get the aperture nice and small. Say again?
Yeah, it is on a phone, but yeah, you can do whatever you need with it.
Cool. I'll crop that out and I'll swipe that. Oh, it's back on. Arwen's got it back up again. Oh no, maybe not. Yeah, brilliant. I mean, it's so simple to do. The mistake that Ranty made was he used his P1000. And it's like, well, you've got a massive diffraction limit because you've got a huge aperture, whereas on an iPhone, it's tiny. So dead easy to produce it because things disappear to 1 pixel and no pixels really quickly with a limited angle if you've got a small aperture.
Yeah, I was only, I'm not good at like judging distance, but I was probably only like maybe 30 feet away tops. Because yeah, we were just at a park by my house, and so I just found a flat stretch of the pavement, and yeah, I was actually really surprised at how quickly the lower ones got obstructed by the ground. But yeah, I already had people telling me that my video is totally wrong and it disappeared because your ground isn't flat and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, okay, whatever, just enjoy your argument. Like,
sounds like you're on the right path already.
Thank you for letting me share that. That's awesome.
For the audience, I'm playing Gleam's video. He just said in the chat he's done exactly the same thing, and you can probably see half the car wheel disappears as he lowers and raises his angle. I mean, this is so simple. I'm hoping loads of people will do it, so you can just basically shove it in their faces. This limited angle is what causes things to disappear from the bottom up. There's no two ways about it. Anybody can replicate it. Yes, every single
slant, baby.
Every single example will have the same objection. The floor's actually curved. It'll have the same objection even though it happens every single
floor
time.
everywhere is curved.
So, would you consider yourself a flat earther? What's your name? Plain sight.
Oh, my name is Dottie. Yeah, and yeah, I absolutely am a flat earther. It's actually been almost 1 year this month that I woke up to flat Earth, and I've talked to like a couple people about it, but I've been really quiet about it. Honestly, I've been more of just like a flat Earth groupie, just like stalking every page that I can find, and but yeah, I just finally got to the point that I was like, I can't just sit back and be quiet about it anymore. So yeah, threw a video together, and I have an idea for another one that I want to do about NASA. So yeah, I'm definitely a flat earther, no doubt about that.
Are you religious, Dottie?
I am not religious. I'm spiritual. Like I used to go to church. Like I went with my neighbor, but I never really liked going to church. And then I just kind of wasn't into religion for a really, really long time just because I saw a lot of lies in it. But then like coming to Flat Earth, I've just gotten to a spiritual side. So like I am on board with the creator, but as far as like adhering to like one religion or one specific God, like, no, I don't really feel that. But yeah.
Well, the reason I was asking is because a lot of flat earthers are religious. Maybe not in this hangout here, but on other places on YouTube, you see a lot of that go hand in hand.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that, and I mean, Flat Earth it's brought back a big curiosity for the Bible, because I mean, when I was going to church, like I kind of thought of it as like, oh, that's kind of a cool story, I guess, like, but I didn't really think more about it. But now with Flat Earth, I'm like, well, I just don't understand why the Bible would say that the Earth is flat if everything else was a lie, and so like that's kind of mind effing me. Like I don't know how to feel about that. So I'm like, I'm just kind of accepting like, okay, well it says that, but I don't really know what to do with it. But yeah, there are some fantastic religious people that I follow, like Rob Skiba and Robbie Davidson and all those guys. And so yeah, it's super interesting, and that's pretty much the point I'm at. It's like, well, if it's interesting, I will give it 5 minutes to listen to at least and make an opinion from there. So
I've got a question I'm interested
just
to know.
Before you do though, Unorthodox,
if there's something that would convince
one
you
question.
the Earth is round.
Sorry, Unorthodox. Same question to you. In my experience, there's probably, I don't know, 1,000 times more bull-believing religious people of all sorts of different faiths. So are you one of those?
Yeah, but we don't talk about the globe hand in hand with globe Earth, Nathan.
Sorry, so are you one of those religious folks that believe in the globe? Because they outnumber the religious flat earthers, I don't know, 1,000 to 1?
I'm not religious, no.
Oh, right.
Great question.
I want to ask her if something would prove the globe to her, if she has something in her head that she would like to see that would let her know the globe is real.
Honestly, it's going to be really, really hard because I see it as the horizon always rises to my eye level and water always lies level. So those are pretty much my two biggest reasons that I think the Earth is flat, because like if there's no curve, it's not a ball. And if the only demonstration of water spinning and sticking to a ball is on something the size of the Earth, well, sorry, that's not science. So yeah.
I like you.
Dottie, have you ever been up in an airplane?
Yeah, and it was flat.
Yeah, like, did the horizon rise to your eye level? Went it down a little bit?
No, it rose
typically where it usually is.
level. Yeah. Yeah, it's right there, flat as can be. You open your eyes and you see what's there, and everything that's beyond that is too small to see. And
Let me ask you this: what if you went to the salt flats and you did the old experiment where you put 2 sticks in the ground
It's
and
not
you
an
measure
experiment.
the angle,
Not an experiment.
of the shadow?
Not an experiment. Only proves a ball if you presuppose R. Stop. So, unless you presuppose you have an Earth radius unorthodox, your sticks in the ground don't prove a ball.
You mean unless you logically deduce?
Sorry, let's just say it once more. Unless you presuppose you are on a sphere, the sticks in the ground prove nothing. So you're not proving you're on a sphere with sticks in the ground, you're presupposing you're on a ball before you do anything.
Nathan.
So let's get it clear. You already know you're on a ball before you do that quasi-pseudoscience non-experiment. Okay?
No. Logical deduction.
So you're going to logically deduce it. So what are the sticks for?
To go forward.
To logically deduce. No, it's a presupposition. Yeah? I'm not going to hear it. You're never going to obfuscate your presupposition of R here. Why would you even try unorthodox? It's ridiculous. Seriously, why would you even try this?
This is their trump card.
Why would you try this?
Ground, like.
Why would you try this? We all know, every
card's
single
just
panel
horizon.
member
You can't
knows.
see past
Unorthodox,
6 miles.
listen up.
I mean, it's that
Listen up.
You're right.
Hold on,
Okay,
just
keep
hold on,
saying
Chocolate.
that.
Hold on.
I mean, do
Every
you not think
panel
that's
member,
true?
every panel member
Oh
here
my God.
knows that you have to presuppose R for your sticks in the ground. Why would you even try and bring that up? I don't get it.
I was just curious if she did it herself at the salt flats. If
What?
that would
Beg the
confirm to her-
question? Are you just going to piss it in our faces again, you unbelievable little turd? I've just explained. What? Do it herself. What? Presuppose it herself. Beg the question herself. Assume a radius herself. What's that going to achieve? Other than that she can beg the question like you
A little
do.
bit of math and geometry.
It's not. It's begging the question. You're going to assume it's a radius and call it logical deduction, like you've just done.
And when I look at the world, I see it as flat. So like I would have no reason to be like, well, it looks flat, so I need to figure out why it's actually a ball. Like, no, it looks flat because it's flat. Like,
thank you.
Yeah, but Dottie, I mean, people have seen ships going over the horizon bottom first for like 2,000 years. That's
Here we go again. So ships over the horizon requires the begging the question, perspective hijacking, proof of nothing curve calculator that assumes R also. Are you literally just going to beg the question over and over again, Orthodox? I'm getting tired of it. You know these arguments. You know that the boats over the horizon require a presupposition of R in the calculator.
No, does it? You just see it with your eyes, Nathan.
Yeah. And we have a reduced viewing angle. We've just shown it on the show. You watched it. That's why things disappear from the bottom. A limited angle of view. It's very simple. You want to beg the question and say that they're going over an Earth curve when you assume a radius. Begging the question, assuming R. That's how those boats go over the curve if you assume you've got a bloody radius.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. The only way you can measure how much bottom-up disappearance proves Earth curve, not Earth curve, but things disappearing from bottom up, is if you use a perspective hijacking, begging the question, proof of nothing curve calculator that assumes you have a radius. So you don't need to see the boat and start saying, oh, well, how much of this obstruction is actually Earth curve? You've already got the calculation and it already assumes bloody Earth curve. It's got a radius.
You just see it with your eyes.
Oh, yeah. You see a limited angle of view as demonstrated twice on this show with you on it.
That's completely different.
Oh, really? So we can just assume that that's not the case and we can assume that begging the question works much better, does it, dickhead? No. Yeah, it does work. You can get things to obscure from bottom up by limiting the viewing angle. Sod all to do with begging the question and assuming an Earth radius. Okay.
Yeah, but you're not moving, Nathan. Or you're moving in one scenario and you're not moving in another.
Oh, so the boat's static,
that's
is
about
it?
As opposite
oh, so the boat's static.
As opposite as
so the boat
get.
is static in your example. The boat doesn't move.
No, you're.
Oh, so it makes no difference either way. It doesn't matter if I move or the boat moves. The thing's getting further away and moving into a more limited angle of view.
Then how come all your videos show you moving and not the object moving?
Yeah, the boat moving is the same as me moving. It puts it further away and into a more limited angle of view.
Well, then you could show a video demonstrating that.
Yeah, I have. That? There's been 2 of them on this show. If you increase your viewing angle, you've got a wider angle of view, and therefore you can see a wider viewing angle. When you limit it, it reaches a point where you can't see the bottom of things because the angle is too small.
So on my video, I know you couldn't hear the sound, but so at the start, I said that my camera was at my eye height. I'm 5'3", so my camera would be, you know, whatever, a couple inches lower my eye height is. So that was the start, when the start of the video at the top. And then as I lowered it, it got to the ground and the viewing angle decreased because it was lower. Like I feel like
Did you look at it with your eyeball, Dottie, after you looked at it in the camera window? Because I'm guessing you could see it with your eyeball. You just couldn't see it with your camera.
No, on the ground, you could not see it. Like, I was literally laying on the ground. Like, yeah, I'm laying on the ground. Like, I'm literally right behind my camera. Like, my face is right behind it because I wanted to be able to see that it was focusing on the right thing. And it keeps trying to focus on the leaf because that's closer. But, yeah, I mean, the DVD and the crayon box, those disappear because of the angle, and then you can see the top of the bottle and the top of the tissue box. That's the reason that I wanted 4 different things of different heights, as I wanted to show it was the viewing angle that was decreasing.
I just really want to see it done in the opposite fashion. I want to see an observer stay still and something else. I'm kind of talking to Nathan here too, or anybody else on the panel. I want to see it done the opposite way. I want to see it where you're still and the object you're focusing on is moving, and it looks like a boat over the horizon.
So why don't you go out and do it?
We've all shared our videos, so why can't you share your video showing that?
Exactly. Why don't you go out and do it, bro?
Yeah, what I'd suggest you do, Unorthodox, is do it in a hallway. Do it in a hallway, Unorthodox. Do it in a hallway that's too short. That's what I'd suggest. Unorthodox, listen up. Do it in a hallway that's too short. Make sure you use a camera that's got the lens in the middle so you don't limit the angle enough, and then declare victory. That's what I'd suggest.
Okay.
Yeah, do it yourself, man.
So, in the same way, angular resolution, i.e. if you back away from something, it will eventually become too small to see because it's too small an angle. That's what angular size is. Everyone understands that things get too small to see as you back away from them. They go from 1 pixel to no pixels after you back away because of their angular size. Well, angular size can also be dictated by the angle of view. If you limit that angle too severely, it does exactly the same thing, causes things to disappear. Strangely enough, from the most limited angle upwards. So at the bottom, that's where the most limited angle is. That's where you'll get the most disappearance because it's the most limited angle. And it will get less and less and less as you work at whatever object you see at distance. So you'll see stretching as you go up, and you'll see compression as you go down, as the angle becomes more limited. This is a fact. You don't have to like it. You can presuppose and talk over me before I finish my point. You can presuppose but that's just because you're a religious zealot, and you have to assume every surface you ever see with obstruction from the bottom up is curving, because you're religious, and that's what...
There's pictures of it, Nathan.
Oh, get angry. Get angry. Get angry about your religious belief. Get angry with me. Shout at me. Shout at me about your religious belief. Tell me to assume R. Demand that I assume R, like you did with the salt flats and Orthodox. Demand that I assume R. Go on. Get angry about this. This is your religion, mate. You think every surface that obscures from the bottom up is because of curvature.
Every single hurricane in the past, 20 years has been videoed.
Are we talking about hurricanes now, are we?
Live streams right now.
Things disappear from the bottom up. Unorthodox. We're not talking about hurricanes. We're talking about things disappearing from the bottom up. because of a limited viewing angle, as demonstrated on this show with
I'm
two
saying you
different
can
examples.
see hurricanes from space.
Oh, we're going to talk about hurricanes, are we? No, we're not talking about hurricanes. We're talking about things disappearing from the bottom up, and your religious belief that every surface that ever demonstrates this is curved, because you have a religious belief in Earth curve. So therefore, everything that disappears from the bottom up must be curved, because that's the only way you can quantify it. And any other demonstration craps all over your religious belief in Earth curve, where the exact same effect happens, also because of a limited viewing angle. But you want to say it's Earth curve, with your begging the question, perspective hijacking, proof of nothing, Earth curve calculator, with a radius built in. So there's no need to measure how much obstruction you're getting, because you've already got an Earth radius. You already know, according to the calculator.
No, I don't know.
No, I know you don't know. You just presuppose Earth radius based on a calculator that tells you the radius before you measure a damn thing.
So how does angle attack work on high-rise buildings?
Sorry,
like
the angle
I'm about
is
18 miles from
Oh,
Nashville.
here we
I
go.
can't see the high-rise
Here we
buildings in
go.
Nashville.
So it's the limited angle at the bottom of things. Are you going to do what the other guy did and have us putting shoes on our head outside of the limited viewing angle because I say shoes disappear from the bottom up? Oh, well, if I put those shoes on my head, they won't disappear. Yeah, that's because you're too dumb to understand that a high-rise building has got a wider angle, but the bottom of the high-rise will still have a limited angle. Anything at the bottom has a limited angle if you are low enough.
Red pill philosophy.
I can't see any of it.
Red pill philosophy. Unorthodox.
Red pill philosophy. What?
Red pill. Red pill
channel.
philosophy just did some video coverage.
Shouldn't I be able to see it though? Shouldn't I be able to see it?
Look, unorthodox.
We don't know.
I'm kind of up on a mountain looking down.
No, you won't be able to see it,
I'm actually
unorthodox. Unorthodox, I'll answer your question. Shouldn't I be able to see it? No, you will be blind to it because you have a religious belief.
So that's going to prevent my eyeballs from seeing it?
Look, unorthodox.
Religious blinders.
No, I wanna share something to which you can use that diffraction works always past any flat surfaces. If you're next to a very tall high-rise building that doesn't have any basic obstructions like roofs or whatever, side roofs, things to obstruct it, and you look right past it, you're like walk over to the wall, you look upwards, like really close to the wall. If somebody like in the top floor is hanging out of the window trying to wave at you, you will not see them.
And with that, I'm going to say first and foremost a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. If you hated the show, then you know exactly what to do. But if you liked it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!